water. Okay, so that actually has helped a little bit the past few nights because that light bulb's been out and I've just been too lazy to change it. It has just been quite dark in our home, and you know me, I don't like to turn on the big light, so I've just been sitting with just the mother light to light this room. So glad that that has been changed, but we're gonna do a plant chores day today. I'm gonna bring you with me on all the planty things that I get up to. I've got quite a lot of things. I've got a whole list here of stuff that I want to do. Things like unboxing some new soil. I've got a Soil Ninja package that I need to open. Change my Sansi bulb, I can tick that off. I desperately need to clean my pond box. Like, it's bad. It's like full of algae, and I think it's just the grow lights that have been like encouraging it to bloom. And I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing, but it's something that needs to happen. So we're gonna do that today. I've also just watered the office. You saw that. I can take that off as well. And I have a few things that I want to repot. And I think most of them are semi-hydro things. And I think I have some semi-hydro in my Soil Ninja package. So hopefully I do, because I don't think I have that much left in my pond box. But yeah, that is what we are going to get up to today. Before we do though, I want to say if you're new here and you don't know me already, hi, my name is Emma and I make houseplanty content all over the internet. So if you want to follow along with my houseplanty journey and maybe learn something along the way, stick around, watch some more of my videos and subscribe to my channel. So go grab yourself some plant chores and we can get some planty things done together, or do what I do when I watch YouTube and get cozy with a cup of tea and a craft. For those of you looking for a new craft or looking to touch up on old skills, you should check out Craftsy, the sponsor of today's video. I myself am very much so a maker. I did the whole art school thing. I love getting in there with my hands, drawing, painting, crocheting, cooking. I just love making things, and I'm always looking for new ideas and inspiration, and Craftsy is one of my favorite online resources for all of my crafty needs. They have hundreds of classes taught by experts, so you can learn everything from how to bake the perfect cinnamon roll to crocheting a mini cactus garden, which I am really excited to try soon. Lately, I've been using Craftsy to help me touch up on my crochet skills. It has been, I think, a couple years since I last crocheted, and I had basically forgotten all of the different stitches, so I found myself the perfect course on Craftsy to help me relearn how to do all of them. So it's really easy to get back into the swing of things, and I'm currently working on a hat for myself. And Craftsy have given me a special offer to share with all of you, so the first 1,000 of you to click the link down below in the description or use the QR code on the screen here will get 1 year, yes, 365 days of premium Craftsy membership for only $1.49. This offer is valid for new members only, so if you haven't tried Craftsy before, join now and get crafting. Thank you so much, Craftsy, again for sponsoring this video. Now let's get into these planty things and get this pond box sorted. It is long overdue. I've been procrastinating for way too long. Let's go. Oh my goodness, the water looks basically black in there. I'm gonna need to take some fun B-roll of it because it is so algae. But like I was saying, I'm pretty sure it is the grow lights here that are causing the issue. And I don't want to take the grow lights away because I think the plants actually probably really like having the grow lights in here. It's probably quite helpful, but I think it just means that it needs to be cleaned more often. Not that algae is a bad thing, like it's not causing it any issues. It's just slightly unsightly and a little bit gross looking. So I think it needs another clean, and it is good to flush the pond in here every once in a while anyway. And so I guess if it like gets hardcore algae this often, I'm probably flushing the plants as much as they deserve to be flushed. So I think the first thing that makes sense to do would be to rinse these off. Give them a bit of a drain, because like, look at that. Gross. Also, this one is my, this is the black velvet bottom bit. this whole bit is rotting a little bit, but it does still have that bit of new growth coming in. So we'll see if that works. Who knows? I think I'm also gonna just dish soap the outsides of these. I don't really know how algae works, if it like can be like spores or something, and if it can get in, or like, I don't know how it works. So I'm just gonna wash it and it should be fine. Ooh, okay. I've had some mystery corms sprout. I think it's black velvet, this one, and potentially the same at the back. I'm not positive. It's either black velvet or ninja. It's kind of hard to tell when they're young. The main way I've seen to tell is the sort of like line around the edge. The ninja has double line of silver and the black velvet just has the single line, so I can't quite tell on this one yet. It's like, it's just not quite there, so that's good. Then I've got my variegated Anthurium magnificum. This is the only variegated Anthurium that I have ever seen that I've actually liked the vibe of. It's like fully mint, and I don't think it looks unwell. I don't know if that's just me or what, but like I don't think it looks sick like I do think a lot of other variegated Anthuriums look. So, I mean, this one probably needs a bigger pot. I could probably repot this one into like a medium aeroid tower pot if I do have one over there, so I can repot that one later as well. And then the last one in here is the mellow, which I want to put into the same pot as its mother plant, just because I may as well have one mellow instead of more than one mellow. And then we have the box of disgusting sludge. Ew. I mean, like, algae's not inherently gross. It's just a bit slimy for me. I just spilled water all over the floor. Whoops. Okay, so I'm gonna leave that to dry for a little bit and we can carry on with some other bits in the meantime. Got myself a massive box of soil, like, As usual, this was sent to me by Soil Ninja. I didn't pay for it, but I really freaking love their soils. Unfortunately, they have canceled their affiliate program, so I no longer have a discount code to share with all of y'all, but that doesn't stop this soil from being, in my opinion, some of the best soil I have ever used. And I can show you what's in my sort of normal order. So first off, more sphagnum moss. This stuff is amazing. It is live sphagnum moss, which I really like. I just massively prefer the live stuff because, like, yeah, you can get those bricks of it from, I guess, usually New Zealand or whatever, but this live stuff is sourced from the UK sustainably and all of that, which I really love. And everything from Soil Ninja is also peat free, which is great because peat is a very slowly renewing resource that we've kind of like decimated in the past many years as a sort of general society. And so having peat-free stuff is my ideal personally, and the live stuff, I much prefer it to the stuff that you have to rehydrate that's dry, just because that, I don't know, it just never has worked as well. I find that that dries out a lot faster and doesn't stay as like nice and moist and holding water. So I prefer the live stuff. I also got myself a bag of anthurium and orchid mix. This is the stuff that I use for anthuriums, obviously. Orchids if I had them, I don't. I use this for Hoyas as well and jungle cacti. That's sort of the regular group of plants, but you can use it for aspidistra as well, deciduea. It's just a really nice coarse barky mix and like very well draining, which means it's perfect for those sort of epiphytes, semi-epiphytes, things like that that like a lot of air in the soil and don't like to stay too dense and wet. For most other houseplants, I use Monstera and Philodendron, which I didn't get more of this time because I still have a bit of it, but I use Monstera and Philodendron for most other things, and I kind of use that as my base mix, and I will like add other bits in. So if it needs to be more moisture retaining, I'll add some vermiculite. If it's something that I'm trying to get more towards like a cactus mix, I'll add grit and sand and stuff like that. So I kind of use my Monstera and Philodendron as my general base mix. I know they sell a base mix at Soil Ninja, so maybe I should just start using the base mix as a base mix. But I really like the Monstera and Philodendron, just because it's got bark in it, which I like as an addition, and I would probably want to add to most of my soils anyway, so like why not just use that? And then like I thought, oh, this is why the box is so heavy, I have 10 liters of the fine semi-hydro stuff, and that is good because like I said, I am nearly out again of semi-hydro. I mean, I might have been able to have enough to do today's stuff, but probably not. And I do typically like the fine semi-hydro just because a lot of the things that I'm putting in semi-hydro, they've got very fine roots, and so it makes more sense to use the fine stuff because it's not as like harsh, because I fear when I use the chunky stuff that in my experience, it doesn't work as well for the fine root things like alocasias and begonias and stuff like that. For anthuriums or like philodendrons, you know, like the chunky rooted philodendrons and like Raphidophora and stuff like that, I would definitely use the chunky stuff. I do have some of the chunky stuff in my cabinet there. And also I use the chunky stuff on the bottom in order to like stop anything coming out of drainage holes. So that's my order. And I keep all of my soils down here on the bottom shelf of my Vitsjo because I don't like Cleo having access to plants. I wish I could put plants on the bottom just because it'd be nice to have slightly more space for the plants, but I don't want her to have, I mean, that being said, she does kind of, she knocked this begonia over the other day, but she doesn't really climb things very much. She knows not to climb and pull stuff over because it's like it scares her when things fall. Makes sense. So I used the bottom shelf here as my like sort of soil reserve, and you can tell most of it is already Soil Ninja. I've got a few things of like other random bits like diatomaceous earth, and I think I've got a bag of tree fern fiber back there. So this is where all my soil lives, in the nice beautiful bags. I'm not gonna put this away because I will put it into the semi-hydro storage box. But yeah, I just think it looks really nice, all kitted out with my Soil Ninja stuff. I just love that it matches, and the Soil Ninja bags are like so very much so my aesthetic that it's just, it feels vibesy even though it's like dirt storage. I also want to give y'all an update on those front opening moss poles that I did. I think, when did I do them? At the beginning of the month. I think that they are doing super duper well. I'm absolutely loving them. I don't know how well you can see in there, but I'm just starting to see sort of aerial roots emerging into the like moss, and so it obviously, like, I knew these plants were in desperate need of like the moss poles, but I think this is working quite well. I've also kind of put this is like, I think a yogurt cup or a pudding cup that I have taken the lip off of, and I'm using in here as my sort of drip cup, trying to keep these staying hydrated. Where's the other one? I think the other one that is doing fairly well in here is this guy, the Pinnatolobum, and I've really just like tucked the stem into the moss. Sorry for hitting the camera. I've tucked the stem into the moss, and I think it is rooting in there nicely. Again, just got a cup in here. This one's probably, in fact, too big for this pole because it doesn't quite, it does look a little bit weird, but that's okay. And I've just noticed that the plants are growing so much more now that they're on moss poles. So I'm very, very excited that this has been working. I have also found someone in the UK who does make some front opening moss poles. A few of you messaged me about someone on Facebook who is selling them. I think he also sells the sort of hexagon moss poles, but I bought some to try out for myself, and honestly, it's great because nobody else in the UK is doing them, so I'd rather that than nothing. But they're a little bit thinner plastic. I feel like they're just not quite as nicely made as the Plant Scraper ones, so I'm hoping that maybe they can get some of like the thicker material or something going forward. But they would do the job, so I definitely can use these as a front opening moss pole. I haven't put anything on them yet, so like they do work. They're just a little bit more flimsy, and I don't know if I necessarily trust them as much. But if you are in desperate need in the UK for some front opening moss poles and you want to give them a go, they weren't very expensive. I think they were like £1.50 each. I will put the link down below in the description, but I haven't put any plants on them yet, so I can't really say that they're great. I just know that they are an option now, which is good, so better to have an option than not, in my opinion. But I am really liking the front opening moss poles. It feels like so much easier to for the plants to attach because they get like full contact. There's nothing blocking their contact from the moss, as well as if I do want to change their moss poles, it'll be super easy because I can just take the whole thing out, or I can kind of use it as a sort of like air layering thing, and it's just all around good. I really am a fan of those moss poles so far. Okay, so now that I've given these plants a little bit of time to dry, I can refill up my pond box and get it sort of back in place. But my mom actually sent me a like TikTok or reel or something that she found where someone used hydrogen peroxide in their water propagations, and it meant, or like it made it so it didn't go all algae-y. So I have some hydrogen peroxide here, this massive thing of it, and I feel like if I add that in to the water, it's possible that it won't go all algae. So we can try this plant hack. I won't be able to tell you the results quite yet in this video, but if it does work down the line, I'll be doing this much more often. But for now, I'm just going to put a tiny amount of fertilizer in here, and then fill the rest up with water. Yeah, just like a very small amount as well. And then I hope that the hydrogen peroxide won't muck up with the fertilizer. I don't think it would. I don't think it would make sense for it to, but I hope not. So I'm just gonna add like the tiniest bit, because they just had a splash, like a tiny splash in the what do you call it, propagation jar. So then I can just put most everything back. I'm going to keep the mellow out, the anthurium, the variegated one out. The clarinerbium can go back in. I think this is an Aslanii. That can stay in. Some sort of green something, alocasia. Just some other like small bits. These can all stay in here while I take a couple things out. Because you know what, I have a feeling this is black velvet, and I'm gonna repot my black velvet, the big one. And I mean, even if it's not a black velvet, they're both reginulas, so it's like it's not gonna be an issue, and I would pretty much give them the same care anyway. Oh, I'm dripping. So I don't think it really matters, but I'm gonna pop it in with my black velvet and hope that I can get it to grow a little bit fuller, because my black velvet's rooted, so we will see. Anyways, this can now go back. Oh, well, it'll go back once I get the variegated anthurium in, so I guess I'll leave it for a second. But let's go repot these ones and some other bits. Okay, so I feel like the first thing that makes sense to do is get this anthurium out of the way. Because like, oh my god, the stem is barely in the pot. And look at all these beautiful roots. Look at them. They're just so nice. Okay, and I'm gonna pop it into just a bit of a taller guy because I feel like it could use it. And I might take off the bottommost leaves, just a couple of them, because it doesn't need them anymore, I don't think. I think like that. I think that looks all good. And I know I said earlier that for anthuriums I usually use chunky semi-hydro, but I think in general I do just tend to mix it, because when I'm recycling it, I don't discriminate what goes into this box. Everything just goes into this box, and so it ends up being a bit of a mix if I'm putting it in there. So anything that I've used before is kind of a bit of both, which I don't think really matters. It doesn't really cause any problems, I don't think. Put a little bit more in. And especially when they're babies like this, like while the roots are quite thick, they don't need, I mean, I don't think it really matters that much which way you do it. It's fine either way. It's purely about personal preference, and my personal preference, I feel like it kind of fluctuates a little bit. So it is what it is. Okay, so the thing is with my mellow, I feel like it's just not sitting very nicely in its pot. And so I feel like I need to repot it anyway, so I may as well repot its like sort of other bits into it as well and kind of make it one big thing. I think it will appreciate that. And I'm hoping I don't need to size up in this pot. No, I don't think I will have to. And also, while this semi-hydro that it's been in is like perfectly fine, I am just going to boil all of it and not like sort of not stress about trying to reuse it right away, because it doesn't really matter when I reuse it, but I will need to reuse it at some point. So I guess I can also unpot these ones with it. And also, this gives me a chance to take off any sort of like dead roots that are going on in here and like remove them just in case it's a bit funky. This one's also got a couple bits that are not necessarily perfect. So better to get them off than like worry about it down the line. Yeah, that should be fine. And now I'm gonna pot these in ever so slightly deeper, especially this main one, because I want it to not be as like flopping over. And I can also pot the small ones in fairly deep as well, just so they're all, like I won't need to repot it soon, because the shallower they get repot, the sooner I'll probably have to give it a new one. So if I just put them all in that height, should be fine. I might actually open up my new bag. So I'm getting more of the fine stuff on top around the like more small ones. There we go. So I mean, it doesn't look amazing right now just because it's very different sizes, but I think once these new ones kind of adjust to the Millsbow, which is where this one was, then it'll probably end up growing a bit taller, because the light in here isn't fantastic. It's getting better now that I've put the like lower grow lights on there, but it's not amazing quite yet. And then we've got this guy, which is my black velvet, which is rooted so well, and it looks like it's got a couple of growth points on the front up there that are starting to pop out. So I'm hoping that that means it is good to go. The bottom is ever so slightly sludgy, but I think it's fine. it's not like squishy. It's just like got that layer of film that sometimes just happens in things. I wonder, I feel like I need something quite tall for this one. Even something like that would be, actually, I feel like that would be fine. So I do have another one that high. But I wanted to use it for something else. Okay, so if I popped that even like that, it's a little bit shallow for what I want. And I want to keep it in a self-watering pot because if I put it in like a sort of normal pot outside of the pond box, I don't think it will do as well. I feel like this one's more ideal because it just holds it slightly higher. I might do this one for now, like this size kind for now. I have one that's already got a thing in it. If we do this size for now, we can then like adjust it soon when I get a chance to like give something else an upgrade down the line. So it might not be like perfect or ideal, but it will be fine. Because before, this entire stem was outside of the semi-hydro. So literally having anything more will be better than nothing. And in this one, I can also put these little guys. Well, I guess these are actually quite massive corms. Remove this sheath. Like, look at the size of that corm. It's so big and beautiful. Let's put that one in and this one as well. Oh, this corm is fully mush. So I'm just gonna remove all the mushy bit. You know what? I'm gonna keep this separate because I don't trust it to go well. This one is still very firm, so it'll be fine. So if I pop that in there with that one. And pop the semi-hydro around it. It's definitely not the ideal pot situation, unfortunately, but it is what I currently have, and I feel like it should be okay. These roots up the top might be a little bit unhappy there, and if they are, it's fine. So I'm not sure if it'll be perfect, but for now, this will be that. I also don't think they look very good when they're just like a little one and a big leaf and they're both single leaves. I think it just looks a bit meh, but it doesn't matter. This isn't about looks. This is about like function. So this next one, I don't have anything else to put in it, but this is my silver dragon. And this is one I'm definitely going to put in a bigger pot because it is fully falling over. So I think it desperately needs that. Oh my god, and its root system is horrid. And like half of it fell off. Ugh. That's not good. No wonder this one wasn't doing very well. Its roots have all gone. So I'm gonna put this one in this size pot because I feel like it needed to be a little bit deeper. You know what? I could put it just how it was. Oh, okay. If I do this, then I can, oh my gosh, this feels like, where is my brain? It's just not currently functioning. I should have done this one first. I figured out that it didn't need an upsize because it had no roots. There we go. That is already better. It's not like perfect, but it'll stay more in place now, which I think will be nicer. So that's there and good. And then I can unpot this one into that. Which I think it will be happier in. Because it'll be slightly deeper in the thing. Oh, did I? I just spilled pollen all over the floor. Okay. Now it's got this. And then this guy can go in like that. I think this will just be a better height for this. Again, it's not absolutely perfect, but it's definitely deeper than before. There's like only a tiny bit of roots sticking out instead of a whole heck of a lot of roots, which the other one was. And then I can put the other black velvet one, the one with the like bit of rotten culm. I can pop that back in this small guy. And this one can also go back into the pond box. Okay. And then the last thing that I want to put into semi-hydro is a wish list plant that I actually got from Claire last week when I was over at hers. And oh my God, look at these roots. Okay, beside it, dripping like crazy. Are those not like amazing freaking roots? And I want to pop this one into one of this size pot. So where's the front? The front's there. So if I pop it like that, hopefully that will be okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I have a Begonia Sinbad. Oh, wishlist plant acquired. Cool, so that's all of the bits that I needed to pot up. And it is very good that I got this bag of semi-hydro because I obviously needed it. So let's put a couple things, the final bits, into the pond box, put that back. We can give these water and then find them space in the Mills bow. So these can go back in here. Ah. And that can go there. Voila! Looking nice and tidy and like so much cleaner. Definitely not as dark. Hopefully the hydrogen peroxide works how we think it will and allows the water to like not get as algae-y. So fingers crossed, but very glad to have done that at all. The trouble's gonna be fitting these in, and I think probably the best bet is to put the mellow at the back there, where it can get loads of light. And then the dragon scale, or the silver dragon, can go in the middle. And then the black velvet can go there. It's definitely not ideal, but I think that's just what it's gonna have to be. And I'm not actually gonna put this one into the Millspo. I don't think there's a good place for it here. So I think maybe in the Acrobar. I feel like that's the like sort of next best thing. It's not particularly humid, but it's like protected, and I really want this one to stay protected because it's a wish list plant. So if I put, this guy somewhere else, put you there. And then these can go there. Okay, I think I finished cleaning the pond box, updated y'all on the front moss poles, and I did almost all of my repotting today. So I think this is where I'm going to end this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Enjoyed spending the morning with me doing a bit of cozy plant chores. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up down below and leave a comment on other houseplanty things you'd like me to talk about in the future, and subscribe for more. Thank you again so much for watching. I will see you in the next one, and don't forget to keep growing. Bye!